Silly season dominoes continue to fall in the NASCAR world. It looks like Ryan Preece will be returning to JTG-Daugherty Racing in 2021. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to another video. Just like I said at the beginning of this video, Ryan Preece is expected to be returning to JTG-Daugherty Racing for the 2021 season, and this is according to Adam Stern. Now, it doesn't 100% shock me. I've heard these rumors for the last couple weeks that he's probably going to be re-signing with them. There was a rumor at one point going around that Corey LaJoie could end up moving over to the 37 car and then Eric Jones in a running, but I think a lot of those talks kind of went out the window when Eric Jones signed with Rich Petty Motorsports. I think a lot of those talks kind of went out the window. And then, like I said, over the last couple weeks, I've heard the rumors that he would be returning to this team. Like I said, Corey LaJoie was in the running, but it doesn't surprise me one bit that he is going to be returning. I'm talking about Ryan Preece, that he's going to be returning to team. Ryan Preece is a really interesting case. I think he does have a lot of talent. Again, he hasn't done ultimately fantastic this year in 2020. I mean, his stats, he's like 29th in the points, which is like the third or fourth lowest in the standings. Again, I don't think those JT-Daugherty racing cars are really that great, if we're going to be honest. But Ryan Preece, especially in the second half of the season, after that crash at Kansas, his season completely turned around. You know, he's only had a couple finishes outside the top, 25. I think he's only had 2 or 3 finishes outside the top 25. So he's been consistently a top 25 driver on a week-to-week basis. And especially in the playoffs, he was in the top 10 and top 20 quite a bit. So Ryan Preece in the second half of this year really turned the season around. I think that's a really big reason why Ryan Preece is returning to JT-Daugherty Racing in 2020. One thing that was really interesting and would have sucked is that if he didn't return to JT-Daugherty Racing in 2021, I don't really know where he'd go. Maybe it's a 98 team. I really don't know. Because remember, he really doesn't have a lot of sponsorship covering him. Remember, a lot of the sponsors that come from that 37 team are part of that Kroger deal, like the Hershey's sponsors, the Clorox sponsors that he gets. Those are part of the Kroger sponsorship. So Ryan Preece really does not have a lot of sponsorship backing him. So it's really good to see that sponsors are wanting to invest in a guy like Ryan Preece, and they're wanting to stay with a driver like Ryan Preece. I think that's really, really awesome that he gets second opportunity. I think if Ryan Preece next year can't continue to build up the stats that he has this year at the end of the second half of the year, I really think he will have a shot at least at a top 25. What are his expectations for next year? I really think Ryan Preece in the 2021 season, I really think he's going to have to at least try to get a top 25 in points. Because again, Ryan Preece, while I don't think he's done terrible, I've been a little bit disappointed with him throughout his career. I know the second half of this year, like I said, he's done pretty well, but I expect a little bit more from coming over to this team because of how Chris Buescher did when he joined that team in 2017, 2018. He almost made the playoffs in 2000, I think it was 2019. Granted, Chris Buescher went over to Roush this past year and really wasn't a contender at all. I think those Roush cars weren't as good. I expected Preece maybe be in the running and kind of be similar to where Chris Buescher was. And he moved over where Chris Buescher was in 2019. And it just didn't seem like he was got up to speed right away. That being said, if he can, like I said, continue the momentum he has had, he could have a shot for a top 25 in points. But the thing is going to be tough for him is those JTG-Daugherty cars are not generally the fastest cars on the racetrack. Generally, they kind of struggle on a week-to-week basis. They're not as fast as like teams, of course, like Penske and Hendrick Motorsports. But one thing that they're going to have an advantage next year is that Hendrick and ECR are going to be teaming up next year. And we kind of saw that here in the championship race with Chase Elliott. Apparently, Alan Gustafson brought up that ECR and Hendrick, the components from that, some of the components from that, kind of went into the cars. I think that really is going to, in general, help teams like JTG-Daugherty Racing kind of be a little bit quicker, and it's going to help a lot of the Chevy teams. While the Chevy teams in general, it's been like in the second half of the year, kind of got faster, and I think that Ryan Preece, like I said, I think he has a really good chance of improving here in the 2021 season. But I think ultimately what Ryan Preece's goal is to not crash as much and have 3 or 4 straight last place finishes. Like I said, I think Preece is capable. He drove for Joe Gibbs back in, I think, 2017, 2018, was able to win a couple races for that organization once 2017 and 2018. He did really well with that organization. I know that team was top tier, but still, you got to form in a really good team, and he took advantage of those opportunities he had, and he did an extremely well job at those organizations. And I think he has that capabilities. And the thing of Ryan Preece is that he is a lot older of a driver, and the more experience I think he gets driving these cars, I think the better he gets. And we've kind of seen that in the second half of the year. I know the Phoenix race for him, we just had it 2 days ago, really wasn't great, but it really wasn't his fault. And a lot of the things that have cost Ryan Preece, he really did not cause any faults of his own. It's just he's been in a lot of bad situations, mainly because of other drivers having problems or electrical issues or oil pump issues or engine issues have kind of been the root canal or the root problem to why Ryan Preece kind of struggles here, finished 29th in the points. I mean, he was on a verge of even finishing in top 30 in points this year. But I mean, Daniel Suarez really wasn't fantastic in the 96. He had okay runs. And then Quinn Houff is a rookie, and Brendan Poole was kind of rookie as well. So there was no high expectation for those teams. And again, I think people are going to say that Ryan Preece had a disappointing season, but I don't think he had a disappointing year. I just think that he had a lot of struggles this year. I expected him to improve a little bit more than what he did, because at the beginning of his time at JT-Daugherty, especially last year, he kind of did all right. But, you know, I hope that this year he does well. And I believe that this will be a one-year contract extension. I don't think it's going to be more than 1 year. You know, you have this being a Hendrick team. You know, I have a chance to know Gregson maybe going up to this team in 2022. Because Hendrick Motorsports, you know, unless Alice Wellman doesn't end up re-signing in 2022, it's probably going to be that Noah Gragson will probably end up over this organization at some point. I mean, we'll have to see what happens, how Noah Gragson does in Xfinity next year. But there are rumors circulating there's a good chance that Noah Gragson could be up in Cup full-time in 2022. Because remember, he signed a one-year extension with Junior Motorsports. Remember, this team has a major technical alliance with Hendrick Motorsports. They're not as good as Hendrick Motorsports is. But I think, like I said, they're going to have a really good opportunity of improving in 2021. So with that in mind, let's talk about what remains in silly season. So for Cup, at least. Well, with it probably being announced that he will go over to the 37 team next year, while Ryan Preece returning his team, this leaves two major free agents left in the Cup field. And also Gone Brothers Racing. We're not sure what's going on with Gone Brothers Racing at the moment. We're not certain about them. Corey LaJoie and Ty Dillon are the two major free agents left. We know Corey LaJoie said that he probably knows where he's going next year. Again, with this being off table, him probably not going to JTG-Daugherty Racing next year, and we've known about this for a couple weeks. I feel like he's going to end up at Spire Motorsports. I really feel that he's going to end up there, or he'll end up at Colleague Racing. That is another possibility that's been brought up. But again, I really don't know. And Ty Dillon, I've heard rumors of RCR maybe getting a third charter. Maybe they brought the charter from JT-Daugherty. That's really possible. But we'll have to find out what's going on with Ty Dillon. Also, we need to find out what Gone Brothers Racing is going on with that organization. I've heard rumblings that there is a good chance that Gone Brothers Racing might end up becoming a part-time organization. So we'll have to see what happens there. Also, with the Xfinity Series field, we still don't know a lot of where people are going, though we know pretty much all of Junior Motorsports lineup, and we know pretty much most of the lineups, and starting to get more of the lineup for next year. So anyway, that is going to be it for today's NASCAR news video on Ryan Preece probably returning to JT-Daugherty Racing. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on so you be notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Links description below for that, and comment your thoughts on today's video. How excited are you that Ryan Preece will probably be returning to this team in 2021? Are you really excited or not? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I will see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.